was all right.
How's the
Digging this
job?
new job.
Yeah? Are, are you digging it?
Beats the fuck out of what I was doing before.
Does it? Good.
So you
So,
still East Coast, or what are you doing?
I'm still in Ohio. I'll be in
You're in Ohio
Ohio.
again?
Yeah. I'll be in Ohio probably for at least a couple weeks. Maybe longer. I don't know. It just depends on how the work goes.
When you getting your ass back out here to Colorado?
I don't know. Um, I want to soon. I'm trying to find a job out there or a contract out there, but I don't know. We'll see. I might. The one place out there than before, I might have made the wrong enemies, so I might not be able to go back out there. But I also made a lot of friends who I still keep in contact with, who continually say to, keep on trying to get a contract with them. So I don't know. I don't know.
I'm kind of a fan of burning bridges, so I when I'm done with something, I'm done with something.
Oh well, I don't necessarily. I did in New Jersey for sure, but that's because I know I don't ever want to work for that guy anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. If you burn your bridges, you got no retreat. You have to keep on going forward.
Yeah. Although getting back to Colorado, I would find I would consider not a retreat. That'd be great. I would love to go back there.
Yeah, in that case, I'm just saying about going back to a company that you worked for previously or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Bucket plane. Oh, so I want to qualify something, or well, basically our entire episode last week. Now, I don't think the Clintons didn't do the Epstein thing, didn't suicide him, but it wasn't necessarily him. For me, the Clintons are a stand-in for his enemies, his powerful enemies. They're just they're the most popular ones. There are hundreds of billionaires out there that we don't know who the fuck they are. Um, and yeah, it could have been any one of them.
But the Clintons do have a habit of people with information on them dying untimely deaths.
Yes, and it's well recorded that Clinton and Epstein had a relationship, and he supposedly went to Lolita Island too. But Bill, that is, and
Something like 26 times or some shit.
some shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's
Did you see
Mulder.
that painting Epstein had of Bill Clinton?
No,
Yeah, he has a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress sitting in the Oval Office, hanging
like
up
a
in his house.
photograph.
No, like a painting.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
I want that picture. That's awesome.
That would look great hanging above the mantle.
What? Right here behind the desk, so when we do actually video chat, you'll be able to see it.
So,
Oh,
this is the Higher Minds podcast. We haven't
yeah,
introduced ourselves yet.
we haven't. I'm Papa Darby.
Yeah. And I'm Scott.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm Dandy.
Good. How is everybody else out there? Lovely. Lovely. Good to hear it.
I really
so
hope
yeah.
there's somebody stoned enough that they answer what we do at every episode. How you guys doing?
You know
I'm
what?
fucking good, man.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. We do have a bunch of listeners. Some listeners, and I do want to acknowledge at least two of them. So, do you remember Best Bud 76 from Instagram?
Vaguely. I remember
We
you
gave
saying
him
about them months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. They gave us another shout out, and they keep on producing pretty good content. So, hi guys, how are you? And then we have a follower on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if she wants us to give out her name, but
Probably a first name basis.
first name. Okay, so her name is Kate.
There you go. Hi, Kate.
Yeah. Hi, Kate. This is different Kate than what I was talking about last week. Kate is there's a Kate that worked at the hotel I was in New Jersey, and then there's this one who has been talking to me about Epstein. She seems cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, with last week being such a dark episode, we're gonna
Yeah.
attempt to lighten the mood a little bit this time.
Attempt.
Uh,
I got a good
this
guy.
week, my guy is fucking one of the best guys ever.
Yeah. Who'd you do?
You want to have a competition with who has the better guy?
Yeah, I'm sure it's me.
I doubt it. So this week we're doing TV good guys.
Good
I'm
guys
gonna
as in
go ahead
like
and start this one off.
humanitarian,
Yeah,
like not
genuinely
like
good people.
heroes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd
So,
you do?
I'm doing Mr. Rogers. And there's
Mr.
no way in
Rogers.
hell you can come up with a better person than Mr. Rogers.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Eepsick William. Have you?
Of who?
Eepsick William?
Nope.
Okay, I'll tell you about him.
All right, well, since you got the mystery one, why don't you go ahead and start off? I'm sure everybody knows who Mr. Rogers is.
Sure. Well, actually, why don't you go first?
Okay. So, as we all know, Mr. Rogers hosted Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
He did. He had a great neighborhood.
We were talking,
even if they were on LSD.
what was it, last week, about TV good guys, and Mr. Rogers comes up at the top of the list. You can throw Bob Ross up there, Steve Irwin, LeVar Burton, who I don't think gets nearly as much recognition as the other guys do, the Reading Rainbow guy.
No, the Reading Rainbow
But
guy.
Mr.
Fucking
Rogers
Geordie
is
LaForge.
right up there at the fucking top.
Yeah, for sure. And I just wanted to say that I had trouble going through all these good guys because they're good guys, so there's not much story. There's not much to say about them. They go, they do their work, they do good work, and then they go home. So
Well, we all know that you like the dark, macabre, murdery, stabby, rapey shit, so I don't have very high hopes for your end of things.
oh well, you should. Eepsick is a upstanding guy.
Right.
Giggle, giggle.
So, Mr. Rogers, do you know what Mr. Rogers' first name is? Because I was drawing a blank on this.
Is it? I don't think. Is it spelled Mister?
No, that's how the name is. The show is spelled.
Ah,
Mister is spelled out on the show.
is it really? Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like Mister. I love that I love that one song of theirs. But anyway, no, what's his name?
Fred.
Oh, you know what? I did know
He
that.
has been Mr. Rogers since I was a little kid. Like, I'm sure I knew his name was Fred Rogers, but he's always just been Mr. Rogers.
Oh, I bet as soon as he was born, the doctor said, "Congratulations, it's a Mister."
I had when I was a kid, my pediatrician was Dr. Rogers. So I used to get Dr. Rogers and Mr. Rogers mixed up when I was a kid.
That would be confusing for everybody around you. Mr. Rogers touched me.
So
Wait,
Fred
what?
McFeely Rogers. And
What's his-
McFeely was the mailman's name.
Yeah.
Mr. McFeely. So he used his middle name as the mailman's name
What
for the show.
a horrible fucking name for anything associated with kids. Like, that's awful. I always thought that.
Well, I looked into it a little bit. McFeely was, I think it was his mother's father's name. So his mother's maiden name.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
But
yeah.
still, McFeely for kids, that's. I was always creeped out by mailmen in general because of that show. Like, that's just
I mean,
not a good
Mr.
name.
McFeely was a fucking creepy mailman. Like, I've gone back and I've watched a little bit over the last couple days just to refresh my memory on shit, and Mr. McFeely was a fucking creepy mailman.
Was he? We should post some creepy McFeely stuff. It's PBS, so it's public. We can.
Yeah, we own that shit.
Fuck yeah.
So, Mr. Rogers was born March 20th, 1928 in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. They used to make Rolling Rock beer there.
Used to?
You ever drink that shit?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, they got by Budweiser.
drink it all the time. It was popular in Akron.
Rolling Rock is a good summertime beer. It always tastes cold for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Rolling Rock. Shout out to Rolling Rock. Maybe they can send us some stuff or sponsor us or something.
Yeah, send us some free shit. Bigger shout out to Yingling. Get Yingling to fucking Colorado already. Goddamn.
I thought I saw an H&K's place, but that's because of you, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was shit that I brought back with me from Ohio a couple years ago. I drove out to visit family. I rented an SUV. I filled the entire back end of the SUV with cases of Yingling and brought it back with me.
That's smuggling. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I played the snowman the whole way back, Smokey and the Bandit style.
Oh man, that's craziness. I would never do that.
It was the jingliest 1,500-mile drive of my life.
I bet that took some gas mileage off of your number two, didn't it? With all that weight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got way worse gas mileage going. Well, you're going uphill when you go back west, too.
Yeah.
So that didn't
Yeah.
hurt, or that didn't help.
But I don't know. Northern Colorado, Loveland, Fort Collins, they have a pretty decent beer scene. They have a very good beer scene. They have a better beer scene than anywhere in Ohio.
Yeah, there's a lot of breweries and shit around
Yeah.
here. I'm not into fancy beer, though. Like,
There is a lot of that.
yeah. Give me something that says Miller on it. That's good enough.
Miller? I was always a Bud guy.
Nah, Miller High Life. You get a 30-pack for like $15.
It's the champagne of beers.
It is.
Actually, champagne is the champagne of beers because it's all alcohol. That's what I'm saying. That's my motto. Live by that every day.
Booze is booze.
Yeah. Everything's champagne when it's in your stomach.
It's like that thing. To your stomach, all potatoes are mashed potatoes.
Ah.
So, Mr. Rogers, born March 20th, 1928 in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and died February 27th, 2003 of stomach cancer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was what it's for.
If you were going to make a resume for him, he'd have a damn impressive resume. Television personality, obviously.
Yep.
Musician, puppeteer, writer, producer, Presbyterian minister. Just on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he was the creator, composer, producer, head writer, showrunner, and the host. Bachelor's degree in music from Rollins College in 1951. Graduated from Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. Ordained as a Presbyterian minister in 1963. He's also known to have studied Catholic mysticism, Judaism, Buddhism, and multiple other faiths and cultures.
Did you say Buddhism?
Buddhism?
Oh. I heard Buddhism, and that's what you
I
get
might
at the
have
club.
said Buddhism. I meant to say Buddhism. Maybe Mr. Rogers got down. Maybe he likes some big booty girls.
Does he have kids?
Maybe. Wait, did you say did he have kids?
Yeah, does he have kids? Did he have kids?
I think he had 2 sons, if I remember right.
Ah, so he's not unfamiliar with booty.
Yeah, he was married to his wife for like 50 years or some shit like that, up until he died.
That's a long time to be married.
Fuck yeah. I don't know anybody I could spend 50 years with.
No, I don't either.
TV-wise, he got into TV right after college. He helped as a producer on the children's show, The Children's Hour.
Was that like a local access thing?
Yeah, it was like I think it was just a Pittsburgh area TV show. Like public TV show.
You ever seen Death to Smoochie? Robin Williams, Ed Norton. You would like that
yeah,
movie.
it seems like I saw that like right when it came out.
Yeah. I love that show.
I don't think I've seen it since then.
Or movie. No,
I mean, Robin Williams and Ed Norton, how bad can it be? Like, both of them are great actors.
Oh, and I mean, not just them. They've got a great cast. But yeah, no, the entire thing is just deliciously dark. It's awesome.
Yeah, that might be one worth going and rewatching. Like I said, I think I saw it when it first came out. I don't think I've seen it since then, no.
It's got a real Get Shorty vibe, if you've ever seen that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
But still, it's really good. It's funny. Robin Williams and Ed Norton are brilliant. As always.
If you think, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Edward Norton movie.
I was trying to think of one. And the worst one I can think of is probably The Hulk, but I loved that movie. So, I don't know.
See, and I liked his Hulk better than Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. I wish they'd have recast him, but I guess he's a pain in the ass to work with or some shit.
Yeah. I don't know. They bring different things to it. I don't think either one of them are 100%, but I like them both. I didn't like. I think
Has Lou Ferrigno had a cameo in the Marvel movies?
yeah, yeah. In fact, so I just saw it recently with my son actually. So in the Hulk with Edward Norton, he goes in to try to not hook up, but like talk to his ex. And as he's like, it's on a college campus, he has to go into a research library, and there's a guard at the research library, and that guard, he gives it, that guard is Lou Ferrigno. He gives him a pizza, and yeah, he lets him in.
Yeah,
He was
another one I need to
also
go rewatch, I guess.
Actually was also, and I can't think of what movie it was in, but he was in a scene with Stan Lee in one of the movies.
Have you seen The Boys, the Amazon show?
Yeah, I have. I
I
love that show.
just
That's
started
so
watching
good.
that one. I'm only a couple episodes in. It's so fucking good.
It is
It's just
really
shitting
good.
on superheroes, and I'm so tired of fucking superhero movies. It's exactly what I needed right now.
Oh no, yeah, it was absolutely the answer. Um, Only half of the show is sick of superhero movies. Darby still loves them. Um, but oh fuck, what else? There was another. Oh, The Tick. It reminds me of The Tick, but like a serious version of The Tick. You ever watch that on Amazon?
I haven't seen the new Tick, but the old Tick with what's his name?
Putty.
Patrick Warburton in it.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
he's the perfect Tick. But this guy, the new guy, he's actually really really good too. Not perfect like Warburton, but still extremely good. But the movie, the show itself, is brilliant too. It's like The Boys, but The Tick is comedy. The Boys is about conspiracy.
Yeah. I'm only a couple episodes in, but from what I've seen so far, it's good.
Yeah, you pretty much got the gist from these two episodes. I mean, there are twists and turns throughout, but it's good. It's good. Everybody should watch it. Anyway, so Mr. Rogers,
Yeah, Mr. Rogers.
started in college or right after college in TV as a producer for a show in Pittsburgh.
Fast forward 1963. He moved to Canada to work on a children's show up there called Mr. Rogers. All one word for some reason.
Huh? Weird.
Like Mr. spelled out, and then they reused the R for Rogers. It's weird looking.
Maybe they were waiting for web pages.
That's the show where he came up with a lot of the props and characters and everything for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the puppets and everything.
Oh, I want to say you said he's listed as a puppeteer. If he's a puppeteer, I'm a fucking puppeteer. I mean, he was great. He did a great job. Did better than I ever did. But his puppeteering wasn't any better than what I could do. Just saying.
I mean, how good of a puppeteer can you be?
Jim Henson.
He's doing basically the same thing. He's got his hand up a puppet and doing the voice from it from underneath.
Yeah, but those puppets are alive. You could tell that Mr. Rogers puppets were, puppets. Yeah, I mean, you can tell Jim
You can
Henson
tell
puppets are puppets, but
fucking
those are
Kermit the
alive.
Frog is a puppet. Like,
Yes, you can, but I mean, the Henson crew, like,
hey,
brings them
my
alive.
roommate is home. Can you hear his motorcycle? I bet the
No.
listeners can hear his motorcycle. He finally got his Harley running. It's been broken for like the
Cool.
entire summer.
Good timing.
Meanwhile, the Honda that he has ran perfectly fine for him.
Yay, Japanese.
Yeah. I talk a lot.
There's
of shit
Honda
about
Korean.
Harley.
What'd you say?
I said I talk so much shit about Harleys.
You don't like Harleys?
Nah. They're old
I like 'em.
technology. Honda has had liquid-cooled shaft-driven bikes since like the early 80s. Harley still hadn't figured that shit out.
Oh, his Honda bike?
Yeah, Honda
Is he a Honda bike or a Honda car? Oh, okay.
Honda motorcycles. Honda cars can eat my ass, but Honda bikes.
Okay. No clue. I'm not a bike guy.
In 1968, Mr. Rogers returned to Pittsburgh to produce Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That show ran from 1968 until 2001 with 912 episodes.
Wow. Wow.
Where was it?
Where does it? Do you know where it fits in with like longest and stuff?
I have that here in my notes. I'm trying to find it right now.
I know it's not the longest running show. I think like the longest running show is the Today Show or some shit like that, or the Tonight Show or something.
Here it is. In May 1997, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood surpassed Captain Kangaroo as the longest-running children's television series. That record stood until June of 2003, when Sesame Street finally surpassed it.
Oh,
So
did
it
it?
took 2 years after Mr. Rogers went off the air to get surpassed.
When did it go off the air compared to when he died?
He died about 2 years after he went off the air. The show ended in '01. He died in '03.
See, folks, don't retire. Find something else to do. Don't retire. Retiring kills you. I've got CNN on right now, and it says Moab, Utah, an outdoor paradise. I was there 2 summers ago, and it was very pretty, very nice, but it was so hot. I shouldn't have gone in the summer. That was stupid of me.
Yeah, you went in like July, August to the fucking desert. What did you expect?
Yeah.
It's gonna be hot as balls.
As balls. So many balls. Such heat.
I'd love to get a Jeep or a 4Runner or something like that and get over to Moab and check it out sometime.
You mean like go through all the I'm not sure how much of the park you can actually drive through, like off-road.
I know like Arches and shit. They have trails through there and everything.
Like that you can bring motor vehicles through?
Yeah, they got Jeep trails and everything.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So Mr. Rogers, he kind of preached acceptance and loving yourself and everything, right?
Yeah.
He knowingly hired gay people in the late 1960s, at a time where that really wasn't a thing that was done.
Like, he sought gay people, or he was just the only one that would hire gay people in the industry? That can't be right.
I don't know if he sought out gay people, but if a gay person happened to be the best one for the job, he didn't hold that against them, like a lot of other people in TV and everything at the time would do.
Yeah,
especially on a children's show.
Most any other employer ever in the world. Yeah. He himself was a bit effeminate, though. I mean, yeah.
Ish. I mean, he was just a very Christian man. Like, I don't know.
I don't really equate Christianity with effeminate, but
No, but meekness, I guess.
okay.
I wouldn't say Mr. Rogers was effeminate, but he definitely wasn't a manly man.
Well, except for he served, didn't he?
No.
Oh, that's a rumor.
Yeah, it's a rumor that is easily dispelled that I'll get to in just a minute, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead then.
So, with these gay people, one of the ones that he had hired was Francois Clemens, who was also African American. He was a singer and actor that Mr. Rogers had heard in a choir and asked him to be on the show. He was cast as Officer Clemens, so he was a black gay police officer, basically.
Interesting.
And I guess he had reservations about playing a police officer because he was black and it was the 1960s and he knew what the police were doing to people in his neighborhood and shit.
Right. Not in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
But I guess Mr. No.
Yeah. Black people getting beat up in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. That's not true.
So Francois Clemens played Officer Clemens from 1968 till 1963. He was among the first black people on TV to have a recurring role on a show like that.
A show like a children's show?
Just a show in general, but especially a children's show.
Cool. I don't remember him. I vaguely remember him. I remember Mr. McFeely and Lena Horne.
And who?
Lena Horne, a singer that he had on once.
I don't remember her.
She was like a popular singer.
No, I remember Mr. McFeely, the mailman, Officer Clemens, the policeman, and those are the only two, like, side adults that I remember. He'd have kids on every once in a while, and all the puppet shit too.
Right. I was trying to think of it's the wrong show. He would play the cowboy on fucking Morpheus.
Oh, you're talking about Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
With what the fuck was that character's name?
Cowboy Jim or some shit like that. What's the actor's name? Lawrence Fishburne.
I know exactly who you're talking. Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of the character's name, but yeah, that was Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah. So not him.
No. Pee-wee's Playhouse was also like the 80s, where Mr. Rogers started in the 60s.
Yeah, yeah. Though you said it ended in 2001.
Yeah, yeah. Mr. Rogers ended in
Wow.
'01.
It lasted a lot longer than Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Fuck yeah, it did. Well, as far as children's shows go, the only one that has a beat is Sesame Street.
Yeah, and I think they're still going strong. They're on HBO now.
Are they really?
Yeah. I don't know if they're also on PBS, but I know that they show a lot of, like every Sunday morning they feature Sesame Street and shit.
That seems like a weird pickup for HBO. I hear
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah. She's barking at a closed door.
There she is. She's just curled up napping. Anyways, 1969. There's an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood where Mr. Rogers is sitting with his feet in a kiddie pool, soaking them, and Officer Clemens walks up and he's asked to join him. Clemens is quoted as saying, quote, "The icon Fred Rogers was not only showing my brown skin in the tub with his white skin as two friends, but as I was getting out of the tub, he was helping me dry my feet. The significance of Fred doing that for a black gay man is not lost. I felt unworthy. Like Peter in the Bible, why did he choose me?"
Holy shit. I just got goosebumps. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so here's
beautiful.
a Christian minister children's show host in 1969 breaking down race barriers and even straight versus gay barriers as well. Like, genuinely good human being.
That's great. That's beautiful. I like that. I don't care that he wasn't a sniper and didn't have 64 confirmed kills.
There's a YouTube channel today I found out that goes into a good bit on this piece with Clemens. The name of the video is 20 Interesting Facts About the Great Mr. Rogers. Definitely worth checking out. It's like, I don't know, 10, 15-minute video.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers was the first American guest on the long-running Soviet children's show Good Night Little Ones, December 8th, 1988.
Where's that from?
That was in the Soviet Union.
Really?
That took place at like the same time when Gorbachev and Reagan were doing that summit in D.C. actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Soviet program's host.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well accepted he'd be by Putin.
Yeah, probably not. Putin seems way more hardline than Gorbachev was, though.
Well, yeah, Gorbachev was trying to westernize the country, and that's part of the reason why they
Yeah.
fell under him.
He had the Soviets host, Tatiana Tatiana, Russian ass name.
I think that's what it means in Russian.
She appeared on a couple episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when he was going over his visit to the Soviet Union.
Like as a guest host?
Just in stuff that they had filmed over there, is my understanding of it.
Oh. Oh. Mr. Rogers goes to Russia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mr. Rogers appeared one time on TV, not as himself, playing an
Yeah.
actual character.
Yeah, where was that? What was that
That
on?
was a 1996 episode of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, where he played a preacher man.
Really?
Do you remember that show?
I remember that it was on. I never watched it.
I think I've seen a couple episodes. I don't remember it being good at all.
No, I don't know. I know Jane Seymour was in Wedding Crashers and was a naughty kitty or some shit like that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, she was in that. I just saw that again a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think they've been playing it on HBO or some shit. That's the second time that's come up. Some premium channel. But yeah, she's a bad kitty.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was in reruns until August of 2007. That's when it started to get dropped by different markets or whatever. PBS officially took it off of reruns in August of '08. So kids nowadays don't get Mr. Rogers.
Are his episodes available anywhere?
I assume you can stream them somewhere. I found a bunch
Yeah.
of them on YouTube just for free as I was researching this shit.
Okay. Can you say whether or not they're all there, or do you know?
I would assume a lot of them are there. Whether
Shit.
they're all there, I don't know.
How many years running?
There are 912 of them, I think was what the final episode count was, so
That is a lot of
it'd
fucking
take
content.
you a while to get through all of them anyways. Yeah. You figure 68 to '01, that's a fucking lot of time to cover.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's
Um,
33 years.
yeah.
E-math. I think that's right.
Mr. Rogers was a vegetarian.
Ew. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. He was co-owner of Vegetarian Times.
Is that like magazine or some shit?
There he stated that I guess it's some vegetarian magazine or some shit. I don't know.
There can't be much to say about vegetarianism. We don't like to eat meat. Okay. Next.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else is there to say?
Like you said earlier, yeah, but the being tattooed or from the Navy or
Yeah.
being a sniper or whatever, that's why he always wore long sleeves.
From the neck to the knees.
100% not true. He wore long sleeves because he was a cold, dainty little 143-pound vegetarian.
Not much iron in his system.
Yeah. Also didn't serve in the military at all. Didn't have any tattoos. In fact, there's an episode where he's at a pool shirtless, and you can clearly see that he doesn't have tattoos. So, no, he wore long sleeves because he was cold and malnourished.
That you know of. If he was a CIA operative, being a children's show host would be a great cover. He would not tell you. And all of his tattoos from all the kills that he made, that he carved into his own body himself with his own Bowie knife, those are digitally edited.
Yeah, because they had that kind of technology in
He was a badass.
19 whatever the fuck.
Hey, Mr. Rogers, master puppeteer.
Here's something I found really interesting about him. He responded to most of his fan mail personally by hand.
Man.
Ever since he did Mr. Rogers in Canada, he had responded to each letter by hand. When Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood got picked up and got really popular, it became too much for him to handle by himself. So he hired a assistant, Hida Sharapan, maybe. But he would still reread, edit, and hand sign everything that she responded to, just to put his little seal of approval on it before it got mailed back out.
That guy's, I don't know. Like, his bad has got to be really bad. Like, I like this. Like, he seems really like a genuinely good guy.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything shitty on him. I'm really curious to see how you think you might one up my TV good guys here.
Oh, my guy's so much better. My guy is Mother Teresa times 2. And if you know anything about Mother Teresa, then yes, that's actually accurate.
I know that she would say that the people who were sick and dying because God wanted them to and wouldn't help them.
You know what? We should go into Mother Teresa one day. Like, there's some.
Can we throw her in with Mandela? Because I'd like to shit on Mandela too. Can we do good people who are actually terrible people? That's a new episode right there.
Ooh, that's a good people too. That's a good episode
people
too.
Think are good but are actually terrible.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa, Gandhi, you could throw on there. He liked to fuck kids, I guess.
Well, no. That's not accurate. He liked to sleep naked with girls. Young girls, underage girls. It was like challenging himself to show that he can't be tempted. But that in itself, the idea that is a temptation is fucked up.
Sounds kind of Michael Jackson-y, and Michael Jackson got crucified for that. So, yeah, I'm going with still fucking creepy.
Well, no, yes, absolutely. I'm not saying it's not creepy. I'm just saying that, yeah. And I think Michael Jackson was a worse offender than Gandhi was. But I don't know. You know what? That's a good idea. That might be our next one. Might not be, but that's definitely an episode that we're gonna do. Good guys, bad guys, or bad good guys.
Yeah, at some point,
like
I think I'd like to tackle that one.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Scott.
It hits your morbid curiosity shit and my love for shitting on things that people love.
Yeah. And I'm glad that everybody got to hear one of our show meetings.
Yeah. So that's your TV good guy, Darby?
So, Ipsic William. He did a lot of great things. Did a lot of awards. Got a lot of awards. He was a mentor and a teacher to a lot of people. So in the '60s, he was He was a stand-up sensation, and um, so Apesick got 8 gold records, 5 platinum records, 5 Grammy awards. He was one of, if not the first black man to co-star in a dramatic role. He was on TV in the 80s. One of the shows that he was on was considered to break racial barriers. That show won 3 Emmys. He was also an animator for a children's show. He lent his voice to various animated characters throughout the 70s and 80s, for which he was awarded the Outstanding Children's Animation Program. Along with the awards I've already listed, for his humanitarian efforts, he was awarded the Bob Hope Humanitarian Award, the NAACP Image Award, the Spin Yarn Medal. I didn't know what that was. It is awarded annually by the NAACP for Outstanding Achievement by African Americans. He won the Mark Twain Prize. He won the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He won the Lone Sailor Award from the Navy. He also won the National Football Foundation's gold medal. So, he was born in Philadelphia. In middle school, he was the class president and captain of his baseball and track teams at Mary Channing Worcester Public School in Philly. His teachers noted that he would rather joke than study, and he called himself a class clown throughout his career. After that, he went to Philly Central High School. It was an academically rigorous college prep school. After that, he transferred to Germantown High School, where he failed the 10th grade. That subsequently led him to join the Navy, which he did in the 50s as a hospital corpsman. What he did was he helped treat injured seamen and Marines with physical therapy. I said seamen because it's fun to say. And I'm going to continue to say seamen because I wrote seamen down so I could say seamen a whole lot. That's not on my notes, that part. I just made that part up.
So was he tattooed to the wrist, and that's why he wore long sleeves and sweaters?
No. I just trying to think of a clever way to answer that, but no. Leave that pause in, by the way.
I'm leaving that giant pause
yeah,
in.
yeah. So he wrote or co-wrote at least 12 books. Most of them were on family values and humor.
What an amateur.
What a what?
Fucking Mr. Rogers has a shit ton of books. I didn't even touch on how many fucking books Mr. Rogers wrote.
Okay. Yeah, he wrote personally
Shit
like
tons.
5 of them. But yeah. So after he left the Navy, he went to Temple University, where he studied physical education. So this is where it gets a little rough for him. At the 50th anniversary commemoration of Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, which was in which the U.S. Supreme Court outlawed segregation. He spoke very critically of black youth who valued sports, fashion, money, and quote-unquote acting hard over education and self-respect. He had
So this was a black man.
Yes. Disillusioned with today's youth and what they do and how they act and how they're portrayed and what they value and what their aspirations are, which during the commemoration, he admonished apathetic blacks for not assisting or concerning themselves with the individuals who are involved with crime or have counterproductive aspirations. He further described those who needed attention as blacks who had forgotten the sacrifices of those in the civil rights movement. Apeskid had five children. His only son was murdered in 1997 while he was changing a flat tire. And his...
Can I interject here? Because I also know
Sure.
something. I know who you're talking about. The listeners don't know who you're talking about, but I know who you're talking about. And anybody familiar with that NAACP piece at this point knows who you're talking about. This son that was murdered in 96.
97?
His son on... Okay, 97. His son on his TV show is based off of his son in real life.
I did not know that.
His son in real life was having trouble in school, and it turned out he had dyslexia, the same thing happened to his son on the TV show
I remember that.
after he told the writers about this problem.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
So while he had 5 kids in real life, 5 kids on the TV show, son with dyslexia in real life, son with dyslexia in the TV show, like, they weren't a direct, this is a funny version of what happens at home, but there were things that intertwined from real life to the show.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who don't know who we're talking about yet, are extra confused.
Well, one one more little tidbit. So his second youngest daughter died of renal disease while waiting for a kidney transplant.
That part I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until today. So, I mean, this guy, he sounds pretty good. I mean, he's helped children. He was extremely influential. He's promoted black causes throughout his life. So, I mean, he seems pretty awesome, right?
He was also the highest paid actor in the world in 86 and 87, I think it was.
Right. Something like that. But, yeah, so he sounds pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, great Family Guy, TV shows, cartoons.
Well, I got
Grammy Award winning. Yeah, great guy.
So I've got to tell you that our culture has collectively decided that that opinion is wrong and you are evil and should die now.
Shit.
So as I like to do, I turned this one dark because I could not find any like interesting good guys. So Eepscott William is Bill Cosby backwards.
Bum, bum,
And we
bum.
So there's a good guy, bad guy for you.
Yeah.
I fooled everybody.
As
Except
we
for you.
were
You know what's going on.
brainstorming this, obviously we list off Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross, Steve Irwin, LeVar Burton,
I wanted to do
And-
LeVar Burton so badly.
because you're a Star Wars nerd.
Yes, and he's
Or
he's
Star
like one of my
Trek nerd,
favorite
sorry.
characters.
Sorry, fucking nerds out there.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
But Geordie LaForge is my second favorite character. Data was always my favorite.
Who?
Lieutenant Data, Lieutenant Commander Data. Brent Spiner,
Who?
the android, the yellow guy with the eyes.
Cool glasses guy?
No, that's Geordie. That's him. That's LeVar.
Okay. I thought that's who we were talking about.
Yeah, that's Geordie LaForge. Yeah, it's a French name.
Yeah, so this started out, we were talking about people, and he didn't like any of them because they're all too squeaky clean and shit. And I'm like, wow, it's really too bad Cosby turned out to be a rapist. He'd be a good one to do, too.
And I thought, you know what? That's good anyway. I mean, it's horrible that he was a rapist.
Who else was on the short list? Uncle Phil
Uncle Phil, yeah.
from Fresh Prince.
See, the only thing interesting about him, other than being an actor, is that he's gay. Or was.
Was he gay? I had no idea.
You know what? Let me not say that for sure, because this is going to be public. I'm not entirely sure. That's what I had heard. But that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I had no idea.
But I could see it.
I don't know that much about the guy other than, like, he seems like a genuinely good person from everything I've heard about him.
Yeah, he seemed like it. But I can just picture him like he was bald on the top, his like side hair grown out, like he's in big old overalls, shoeless, no shirt, one of the straps are hanging down, just kind of looking at you all pretty. You, that is. Yeah, I'd watch that video.
I'm just letting you go.
You don't want to sit here and fantasize about your love life with Uncle Phil with me?
So did you dive into Cosby and his rape allegations and arrest and all that?
I
shit?
didn't dive into it because we pretty much know. I mean, I intend to talk about it, but actually, because of that commemoration speech that he gave, that opened a lot of that angered some people and angered a lot of people, and so it started to as a result of that, one of the judges who presided over one of his, he was never charged. He was one of the agreements that he made with one of the victims. He decided to open those records, and in addition to that, Hannibal Buress, who is a comedian, also started making jokes about Bill Cosby and him raping people, well, women, and that is
You texted me Hannibal Buress the other day, and who the fuck did I get him mixed up with?
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, yeah.
Actually, he has a
said
joke
something
about that.
Hannibal Buress, and I'm like, the cartoon guy? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Hanna-Barbera and Hannibal Buress are very different people.
Yes. Basically, what he would do would take these women on dates, and this is while he was married. I'll have you know. He would take women on dates, and then he would drug them and rape them. And a lot of the women who testified against him said that most of them would have slept with him anyway.
And he had jokes about using Quaaludes, like, back while he was doing this, and everybody just thought he was joking.
Yeah. And on one of his shows, I think a couple of his shows, he talks about his special sauce putting kids to sleep or some shit. Now, I don't think he fucked any kids. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that he lived across the street from Epstein. They were friends.
Did he really?
And Epstein's little black book, Bill Cosby is in there.
It's my understanding that he was only targeting adult women.
On
Most
his
of
own.
them actresses that were trying to get a part in his show or whatever.
Right.
He would drug them and rape
power
them
prey.
and then give them a small speaking role on the Cosby Show or whatever, and never talk to him again.
Yeah. He was definitely in that predator prey category. Like, he liked his power, and he liked to prey upon those definitely weaker than him, at least in their career or whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, I will totally run with the idea and my imagination that he and Epstein were frolicking on Lolita Island together, probably in matching white outfits, holding hands.
It's possible, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if he was into that lifestyle anyways, and they lived across the street from each other, it's very possible that he could have been going out to Kid Fucker Island with all the rest of them.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's fucking Bill Cosby. Who wouldn't invite Bill Cosby anywhere? But you know what? I will continue with my imagination because nobody's going to dispute it. I think that he and Epstein probably had a gay relationship. Maybe. I have no proof of that, but I think that he liked to gargle Epstein's balls, is what I think. And Epstein liked a little chocolate in his ass. And Bill Cosby's dick. So yeah.
Have you seen Cosby recently?
Have I seen what?
Have you seen Cosby recently?
You mean like images of him? Yeah, he's rough. Like he looks like an old cat.
Eyeball creeps me out so bad.
Yeah.
That one fucking googly frosted over eyeball. I don't know what the fuck that is.
They should just give him a googly eye. Just one googly eye. Just close that lid forever, like sew it shut. Smack one on there. But yeah, he looks like
fucking hazy and shit. It's weird.
He looks like he won one of those ugliest dog contests.
Yeah, he does. He just has a snaggly tooth.
Or at least the space where it used to be. But I think he played up the weakness for the judges too, in the public.
I mean, he is 80 some odd years old. They gave him what was it, like 20 years or some shit like that? Like, it wasn't very long, but it's long enough that he's going to die in prison. Like,
yeah. Maybe he does. I don't know. But looking throughout his history as I was doing the research, he absolutely deserves what he got. It's my opinion that he deserves worse than what he got. But it's so sad that he really does have this great and astounding career that just fucking is flushed down the toilet. He did some great things. He influenced people in wonderful ways. And damn, it sucks that that's all wasted because he was doing good for the world.
His
But it
stand-up
was
is
wasted.
still, to this day, some of my favorite stand-up. Like, I have 2 or 3 of his albums on vinyl that were my mom and
Of
my
course you
aunts
do.
when they were in kids. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
his
I
comedy
used to listen to
spans
him on vinyl.
generations.
Now it's all crap. And in 100 years, they'll accept his art. But
Yeah,
right now, we can't.
I'll see if I can't find it, but he has a bit on when Noah was building the ark, and it is the
Yeah.
fucking funniest bit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know that bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of his most famous bits, other than everything on his TV show. So yeah, be wary of your good guys.
Yeah. I have Mr. Rogers Awards here that I didn't get to earlier. Let's,
Bring it.
Jump back to that for a quick second, and then that would cover what I have. That covers what you have.
Yep, told you everything I know.
Okay. So Mr. Rogers has received over 40 honorary degrees. In 1992, he received the Peabody Award for, quote, in recognition of 25 years of beautiful days in the neighborhood. He won a Lifetime Achievement Emmy in 1997.
One second. That kind of calls into question. I never really saw rain in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, yet it was really green.
You never what?
Saw any rain? It never rained in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
I know he came in the very first episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He's wearing a raincoat as he walks in the door, so...
There was no rain in
that
that studio.
that episode it rained.
No, he was just wearing a raincoat.
Yeah. Yeah, as I found, somebody on YouTube has his very first entrance and his very last entrance back to back in a video.
Aww.
And the very first one he's wearing a raincoat in.
Aw. I bet he looked like he was 19. How old was he when he started his show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Show started in 68. He was born in 28, so he'd have been 40.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
He looked good for 40, I guess.
Yeah.
He looks like he's probably mid-30s, early 30s.
I don't know. I haven't seen, but
Huh. Oh, he was also red-green colorblind.
I don't know what that is.
It means he was colorblind for the colors red and
Oh.
green.
Oh. I thought you said he was on Red Green, like it was a show or something.
No. He was red-green colorblind.
Oh. Well, shit.
Here we are. Yeah,
That would suck
Lifetime
for
Achievement
driving.
Emmy in 97. May of 97, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood surpassed Captain Kangaroo's longest-running children's television series. That was then beaten in June 03 by Sesame Street. He was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 1999. He was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2002. In 2003, he had an asteroid named after him. It was discovered by Eleanor Helen, and the asteroid's name is 26858 Mr. Rogers. So
Nice.
there's a giant rock floating around space named after Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. I wanted to point out that Bush also gave Cosby the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2002.
Really?
Yeah.
So Mr. Rogers and Bill Cosby. I wonder if it was at the did they do those all at once?
I think so.
I wonder
yeah.
if there's video of the two of them on stage both being awarded the medal. We'll have to look into that.
I'm looking at that right now.
Then in 2018, there was a U.S. stamp made of Mr. Rogers.
Oh, nice.
In 1984,
it's on- there's-
Mr. Rogers donated one of his sweaters to the Smithsonian, where it remains in their permanent collection.
A sweater?
Yep, one of his sweaters. His mother knitted every one of those sweaters.
Wow. She was good. She was good. Those were nice sweaters.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, those were well-made sweaters. I didn't like
And a
any of
fucking
them,
lot
but
of them.
yeah. So, yeah, there's a YouTube video with them receiving the medal together.
Huh. Yeah, we'll have to post that one on Facebook and whatnot.
You know, we say we're going to post a bunch of stuff, and we do sometimes.
Sometimes we remember.
Like, I don't remember having a weed of the week picture in a while. What are you smoking on?
I picked up some wax the other day. What do I have here? This one is Golden Goat Live Sugar. So that's some good shit. And a little bit of lemon squeezy sugar.
Lemon
The lemon
squeezy?
squeezy is kind of ugly, but it's fucking good shit. It tastes good. It's a good head buzz.
How does wax
I'm actually
look
liking
ugly?
the lemon squeezy better than the Golden Goat right now.
You know, I don't. Golden Goat doesn't for me doesn't translate into wax very well. I think it's just best as a flower.
The first time I had Golden Goat wax, I hit it way too hard, and I went completely deaf for a couple seconds. Kay, on her own, has also done the exact same thing, where she went completely deaf for a couple seconds off of Golden Goat wax. So, I'm
Well,
glad it wasn't just me, but it is like that's two people now.
well, I know like when you when you first started smoking, like your whole edible story, and like when you were smoking with me, like you tried to hang with me, and like
Mm-hmm.
nah, you probably can now, but
No,
when you first started,
no, you
no,
had decades of experience on me at that point.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like
nowadays I feel like I can keep up with most people, but yeah,
yeah. No, my brain was
like
formed
I
with weed
smoke H and
smoking.
K under the table, no problem. Like
Well, they're not really smokers either, though. I mean, they smoke, but they're not really smokers.
they seem like they're more just weekend smokers or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's great.
yeah,
Not enough to have a podcast. Yeah, that's what I got.
yeah, that covers my Mr. Rogers. And I was 100% right. You couldn't out good guy me.
No, I knew that from the beginning. I was totally lying.
Not even trying.
Yeah, don't be like Bill Cosby. Be more like Fred Rogers.
Yeah, yeah. Fred Rogers was a genuinely good human.
What are we on?
Yeah. What are we on?
Yeah.
I'm on THC. What are you on?
Oh, I am too. I meant where can you hear it? Where can other people hear our podcast?
You can find us at highermindspodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
We're on Facebook,
We're on Facebook
Instagram,
and Instagram,
Twitter,
Twitter, kind of,
YouTube.
on YouTube. Pause you there. Yeah, so Darby got all of the episodes uploaded onto YouTube in one night. If you guys know how long it takes to upload 12 episodes in one sitting. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to finish
I
that, but that was a
remember
pain
you
in
were
the
working
ass.
on the first one, and you sent me a text message. Does this really take hours to render and upload and everything? I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a better part of a day.
Yeah. I literally started at like 6 a.m. and ended at 2 in the morning with all the shit.
I used to, when I was doing all of it by myself, I would cut them, put the intro, outro, all that shit on there, finalize the audio track, make the video, render the video, upload the audio track, all in one day.
Yeah, no.
It's a motherfucker. It's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I separated
You had hours of fucking video to do, though.
12 hours, yeah, or 12-ish hours, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know how long it is when it's just an hour, hour and a half, whatever. You had fucking 12 hours.
Yeah. That was a good time. But anyway, so they're all up, and
But yeah, we are all up on a YouTube.
Yep.
The Epstein one, I like what you did with the video on that one too, cutting in photos and shit.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're gonna.
You went way more in depth on that one than I ever used to do. So
Honestly, it's the program.
so props on that.
Thank you. It's the episode or the I'm sorry, that's the program. I just picked out some pictures and put them in. That's really it.
Mm-hmm.
But we should do that.
Yeah, I like
more.
the way it came out.
Thank you. If you have some, actually, if you have any Rogers, we should. This is another show meeting. If you have any Rogers pictures, I'll put those on there too. Send them to me.
Okay. I'll find some and email them off to you.
Cool. So where do we stop? YouTube.
Where were we? We were YouTube, SoundCloud.
We're on SoundCloud.
Stitcher.
We're on Stitcher.
We took a long pause there, but I think that was all of them.
HigherMindsPodcast@gmail.com. I think it's the only one that we didn't say.
Yeah, we left out the Gmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should. Hopefully, we'll be on iTunes soon. I'm working on that. There are.
Good stuff.
Yeah. There are. Excuse me. I'm told that their RSS restrictions are more stringent than everybody else. So we just need my web guy to do stuff. I don't know what he does. He does magic, I think. Is what I think he does.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about any of that type of shit, so good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good at researching and I'm okay at talking. Beyond that.
Yeah. I'm not good at the shit either. It's just, I don't know. I know the bright guy, I guess. I don't know.
You have way more patience than I do.
Well, that's for damn sure. That is true.
Oh, that doesn't work? Fuck it. I didn't want to do it anyways.
Yeah. I could see you look at your computer just saying that.
Anyways.
In fact, we were supposed to video chat today, and there was something wrong, and we just said, fuck it.
Yeah, my webcam wasn't working for some fucking reason when it has all the permissions, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I tried it 2-3 times. It still didn't work. Good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this'll turn out just fine.
I think so.
I think eventually we're going to start having videos and posting the videos of the video chat. Eventually.
Yeah, at some point. When I'm not just sitting in my living room doing this, like an actual nice little office would be ideal.
Yeah. And
something that doesn't have tall ass ceilings that I'm sure echo on this recording.
Well, and I mean, we both have, our personal lives that we're at least at the moment trying to keep separate. So,
all right.
For the moment, I don't always intend to, provided depending on how this goes.
Well, we're up to like 40 consistent listeners now.
Yeah, just under 40. I did round it up because I'm an optimist. But
you lying sack of shit.
Yeah. Fucking lying about the numbers. Fucking lying about fucking Eepscub or Eepsock.
Lying about episodes sounding absolutely perfect.
Yes, but we didn't do the Darby's
it was
back.
a nice change of pace. That ball sweat McDick face guy, he wasn't a bad guy. I kind of liked working with him.
Yeah. He makes good videos. Anyway, so yeah, this has been the Higher Minds Podcast.
That wraps up what we have.
Yeah. This has been the Higher Minds Podcast. I'm Papa Darby.
It has, and I'm Scott. Deuces.
Deuces.